Them try to kill we and break way. Them not realize it's the same fight that build way. I don't need friends, though I'll be lonely. And all I need is shine my own space. Oh Lord, I'm running, 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 running away. I'm running, running from bad mind and jealousy. Oh Lord, I'm running, 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 running away. I'm running, running, running so far away, so far away. I wanna be alone. My heart is aching me. I wanna be alone. Bad mind, I'm begging, please. I wanna be alone. I'm fighting on my knees. Fighting on my knees. All alone, all alone, 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 alone. All alone, all alone. I wanna be alone.
Welcome again back to Studio Galaxy 473 from Confer, and we welcome you back to the second part of our program. And we have with us this morning our brother KB, Kennedy Budlal, and Master Carl, and we on the Galaxy Equalizers. And we're going to have discussion on issues, and we encourage people to give us a call. We want to be very interactive this morning. 438-9290. Sorry, 538-9290. Remember that call. The number is 538-9290. You could give us a call. We will even try to read your comments and WhatsApp. And we're going to call that number again because we know quite a lot of people might join us later, not too accustomed with the number. And you too could help us by sending the number around and sharing and etc. We have KB and Master Carl this morning with us on the Galaxy Equalizers. And KB, 50 years celebration of independence. And you would have been around, you're in Tong Long.
Yeah.
So welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mr. Pierre, Brother Carl, brother on the control tower. Thank you for having me. And I really appreciate, Mr. Francis Pierre inviting me to this program. We celebrate 50 years of independence. And we had to ask ourselves, how united are we? How honest we are in tolerating one another. We have three controversial heroes of this country. Sir Eric Matthew Geary, no doubt, considered to be a hero. Comrade Maurice Bishop, no doubt, some people consider him to be a hero. And for some reason, some people want to deliberately devote Dr. Kit Mitchell. No, you can't. You can't. Because all of them, their rule had a positive impact on the life of the Grenadian people. And I could say what you want. Dr. Kit Mitchell was more humane where human rights is concerned than any one of them. When you look at Uncle Gary's track record, you understand, Maurice Bishop's track record, and Kit Mitchell's track record, where human rights is concerned, Dr. Kit Mitchell stand above them. And the problem with these three leaders, notwithstanding the positive impact they had on the Grenadian people's lives, they all over the years have created, let's say, have developed an unlimited capacity for power, and at the end get drunk with delusion of invincibility, which contribute to the political demise at the end. Because you cannot say Uncle Gary had a good ending politically. You cannot say Maurice Bishop had a good ending politically. And we pray Dr. Mitchell have a good ending politically. But these three controversial heroes definitely had created a positive impact on the life of Grenadian people because they were the most popular in their days. They was the most charismatic in their days. You understand? And as I had a discussion with someone, I said every period of history certainly did arise. In 1951, that was Uncle Gary time. You could say what you want. In 1979 was Maurice Bishop time. And then you had Dr. Kit Mitchell time. So we have to recognize three of them for the noble contribution in the greater politics in the society. So you can't want to build a statue of Uncle Gary, build a statue of Maurice Bishop, and leave out Dr. Kit Mitchell. That's too unfair. That is too unfair. If you build a statue, you have to build a statue for three of them, because all of them had a positive impact on the life of the Grenadian people. That is fear across the board.
That itself is a political crime.
Of course you can. You can't do that. You understand? If you want to unite country, you have to appear to be fair. You understand? You can marginalize one section of the population, you know, or praise one leader, good leader, and demonize the next. Because all they was doing is to praise Uncle Gary, praise Maurice Bishop, and demonize Dr. Kit Mitchell. Now, we have to be fair. After 50 years independence, we have to be fair, and we have to tolerate one another. Mr. Pierre.
KB, perhaps in starting the 50-year celebration, the objective of the government was definitely not to be fair. I took issue with the formation of the committee that was responsible. Perhaps they should ask the trade union to send a representative, the farmers organization, the bar association, the chamber of commerce, both political parties send a representative. From day one, I give the impression that the committee that organizing these 50-year celebration was as impartial as possible. And perhaps they could have even asked the Governor General to set it up so that from day one, that committee would appear to be impartial and all hands would be on deck. But once it was started in that way, the challenge would come in. You know?
I agree with you, because people perceive it's an NDC thing. It should never be an NDC thing.
No.
You should look at it as a national thing, where you look at the best quality, the best people, put them in charge of it, and take the politics out of it. You know, I think it will be most successful.
Masakal, what you take? Masakal, you're not a original individual in the political melee of independence. I mean, you're a junior boy to both KV and I, who have been practically involved in the activity. So you might even be a better individual to look at it. The 50 years celebration in Grenada. Do you think it misses objective? What do you take on it?
The impression given by this present administration to, in my view, send a wrong signal. Because when you listen to most of the advertisement and when you see actions like...
We have a call on the line,
yes,
Masakal. Let's take the call. You in?
Yeah, Bernard Coard was in Grenada. Bernard Coard was the chief architect of the March 13 revolution. because he was the best, he was the number one organizer, he was the most disciplined person, and let's say Bishop was involved, but much Totten was Bernard Coard. He was the one who come up with do all the planning, you know, and so why he overthrew Morris is because he had that ambition, and he see himself as the number one ideologue in the revolution. He was, while Bishop was the legal brain in the party, Bernard Coard was the chief organizer and the legal, and the, let's say, the Marxist, the ideologue in the party. You see, if the revolution take a Marxist-Leninist trend, and the chief ideologue is Bernard Coard, obviously, all the young aspiring revolutionary who wants to go along a Marxist-Leninist line, they will look at Bernard Coard as their leader, not Maurice Bishop, because he is the ideologue. When you want to discuss the communist ideology, you don't go to Maurice Bishop, you go to Bernard Coard. In study class, you know, we used to have a study class every Saturday in Bernard Coard house, you know, maybe about 30 something of us, where we brainstorm. We get together and we study the Communist Manifesto. We study we get the study from Jagan Party in Guyana. They used to send us the documents to study the ideology. And the person who was heading the class, the person who was really teaching us was Bernard Coard. So he controlled the upper echelon of the party. He was the most influential person in the party, while Maurice Bishop was the most influential person in the country. But in the party, we look at Bernard Coard for guidance and for advice. So obviously, when you reach a stage where some of the revolutionary feel it's time for Bernard Coard to lead, they go for Bernard Coard because they didn't have that respect for Maurice Bishop as a real communist.
So Bernard Coard was like the engine of the...
Bernard Coard was like the engine, because when we, in the detailed planning, Maurice Bishop would sit there and just listen. The man who was coming up with all the detail, what we should do, who should be around, you know, and who should do what, was Bernard Coard. He was the engine, and he was the ideologue, and he was the planner.
One thing, KB, a question. Speaking to a lot of people who was around that time, they say Bernard Coard was the man that he didn't used to allow windbagism.
No, you see what happened? The reason why Bernard Coard now was a very disciplined person. You can't be in an organization and not be a good worker. You can't come and talk. And at the end of the day, you can't produce. You have to be a worker. Otherwise, Bernard Coard will kick you out of the party, keep you out of the organization. So you don't say you're tolerating the windbagism. Some people do go to organization, go to some party group and talk. And when you ask them to go out and do political work, they will do no political work. Bernard Coard will not tolerate you. You have to perform, and perform with distinction, for you to be part of that organization.
Is it fair to say that Maurice Bishop was a student in the political classes?
I will say yes, he was a student in the political class. And I'll tell you what happened. After the revolution, Angela Bishop came to me and she said, KB, I want you to go and speak to Maurice. You don't see what's going on? Coard and his people putting all their supporters in key position in the revolution. Key position in the army, key position in the party structure. And it seems as though they go take over for Maurice. So I say, Angela Bishop, you're sleeping on the same bed with the man. You're in a better position to discuss that with him. And he said, no, KB. She said, no, KB. Maurice will listen to you. So I went in Montreach and I pulled him out of a meeting. They had a meeting in Montreach past year. I pulled him out. And I said, Maurice, people concerned that, hey, look what Coard doing. He's putting his key people in strategic position in the army structure, strategic position in the party structure. A man will only do it if he has long-term political ambition. And Bishop used the 4-letter word. And he asked Cletus St. Paul, who's still around, to call H.A. for him. And he asked me to repeat what I said to H.A. When I repeat it to him, he also H.A. say, look, they believe Bishop blind here, see what's going on. So I asked Bishop how he could allow this thing to go on. And he said because of Coard position in the party, he was able to do that. I said, look, you have a problem. A man will only do that if he has long-term political ambition. And Bishop did nothing about it until Coard, as what you asked me there. Why Coard overthrew Bishop? Because Bishop did nothing about it. Because he had lacked the political skills and the political organization. And he had left that to Coard and his wife.
But if it is only fair to Bernard Coard, if Bishop was a student in his class, Bishop was a student in his political class, and he was not a man who tolerate what you call windbagism.
Yes.
And he's a man who do not tolerate laziness. And if Bishop was a student in his class, how do you expect him to promote Maurice Bishop? The people who seems or appear to support Maurice Bishop, who was considered as windbags.
See, beautiful question. While Coard had influence in the party structure, the party didn't have much people, about 35 of us. I could call the name.
The Central Committee.
Not the Central Committee. Just the party engine, party itself. Only 35 of us. Not much. Coard had influence over this group of people. But Maurice Bishop had influence
over the country.
The masses. And that is called mystic. You understand? That is mystic. He was too far ahead of the masses. You understand? You can't go too far ahead of the masses. You understand?
But Maurice Bishop was his student.
Yes, ideologically, but the person with the charisma, international contact, you understand? The personality cult, the love, you understand? The likability factor was Maurice Bishop.
But could it have been considered as a fair decision to encourage some form of joint leadership because of that kind of laziness of Bishop in terms of the party and the party work, and the fear that the party work would suffer if that kind of attitude continued? It would be very difficult for the public, but being a serious disciplinarian in a party, that would take precedent over what the public.
I understand what you say, what isn't political, that is not politically correct, because you cannot go ahead of the masses.
But in Marxist-Leninist countries, that is what exists.
Yeah,
because remember, you could always discipline the masses by threat, by the inflammatory nature of the gun, by the mass organization, and by hard-working, disciplined party members.
I agree with you. I remember I was in the prison one day, and my friend Prime came to the prison about 12 o'clock in the night. And I said, Prime, what you doing in the prison 12 o'clock in the night? And he said, KB, I'm doing my revolutionary duty. I said, Prime, what you all doing? Are you too ahead of the party? Too far ahead of the people? I said, the people have to reach a level of development where they suck a mango and they still want to go and do political work. When there is no goods on the shelf, they must understand the reason why there is no good on the shelf and agree to stay without food and do the political work. I say, if they don't reach that level of development, you have problem. Then he left and he was walking down and he was saying, KB, no, you don't understand. KB, no, but I understand. It's only when they make them move, they realize they was too far ahead of the masses. The masses never understand the joint leadership thing. They never understand how you could arrest the leader and put him under house arrest. They could not understand.
Did Bishop understand that the party was too far ahead of the masses?
He knows that. He was aware of that. Because he sits with them every Saturday in study class.
He was a student in the class.
Yeah, he was a student.
You have a
There
bad
there is
student.
time he led the class. There is time he did the conversation.
Yeah.
He led the conversation. We study documents, and there is time he led the stuff. But most time, it's Bernard Coard who lead the study, the conversation, and we all look upon Bernard Coard for guidance and direction because he was the chief ideologue of the party. He was the real communist because our aim was to build a Marxist-Leninist party. You
So,
understand?
KB, what was the trust factor between the two gentlemen?
Well, the point is that they always watch one another. And I want to take blame for a lot of things. Because at one time, I never liked where Bernard Coard was living. I find it was too risky. So I went to Bernard Coard and I said, Bernard, I don't like where you're living, you know. You're living at the bottom of a hill. Somebody could stay on the hill and have a hand grenade on your house and blow you up. So you need to move out. But I never tell Bernard Coard to go and live close to Maurice Bishop. That wasn't my plan at all. So what Bernard Coard did, he used that opportunity to go and say, hey, KB concerned about my security, so I have to move. So he go and he put the house close to Maurice Bishop. So they live neighbors.
So you didn't speak to Maurice about that?
No, I didn't speak to him because I didn't see the sinister motive in it. You understand? So he went and lived very close to Maurice Bishop. So there now, he was...
Security compromise.
Right, you can. Maurice Bishop there, and he watched Maurice Bishop, he watched who come in there, he watched who go in. You understand? He has his plan. I never thought so. At the end of the day,
You just facilitated the process.
yes, you know, sometimes I give myself blame, but I was kind of naive and didn't understand Bernard Coard's grand design and his motive in it. You know, but they had trusted me a lot, you know.
Obviously, this massacre, that is some of the intrigues of the
Yeah.
revolution that we might have to take a whole session for.
Days.
50 years celebration.
Yeah.
And we have a new kid on the block who decided to evoke or attempt to evoke Maurice Bishop's spirit. An individual, obviously, that know not a clue
You don't have
about
a
the
clue.
ramification of the revolution.
No, he don't understand.
Maybe he reads something and he wants to evoke Maurice Bishop's spirit, benefit from the positives, the heroism of Maurice Bishop.
See, what is bad about it, you know? They want to portray Maurice as an angel. Okay, let's suppose you want to, 50 years of independence, you say Maurice Bishop is a hero. But the impression they want to give is Bishop was some kind of angel, came from the heaven, clad in white, sinless and spotless. And Bernard Coard and his supporters were devil that came from the bottomless pit. That's an agnostic myth. You understand? These people all was part and parcel of a perverted ideology that didn't have no God in it. Understand? You can give the impression that Coard is the evil and Bishop is the good one. No, they all collectively responsible for what had happened in Grenada. You cannot say, look, Bishop is good and Coard is bad. No, they all collectively responsible for what happened. And that is my problem with portraying Bishop as a hero. Yes, Bishop did a lot of good. The revolutionary did a lot of good. You understand? But where the human right is concerned.
But so, KB, why are you saying the goods of the revolution ought not to be attributed only to Bishop, but Coard should also...
No, Bernard Coard. But the point is that the star in the revolution was Maurice. He was the most popular element. And you see, the reason why you cannot vindicate Maurice Bishop, he was commander-in-chief of the armed forces. He was prime minister. He was political leader. He was the legal brain in the party. He was the #1 human rights lawyer. You understand? He was the most popular element. You cannot vindicate him and say, but only blame on Bernard Coard. You can't do that. You understand?
And Maurice Bishop signed the detention order.
He's the one
for
signed
almost
the
3,000
detention, not
people.
even that. He, for instance, I remember when they closed down the Torchlight newspaper. Bishop was not around. There was a let's say a headline in the newspaper entitled "Zombie in a PRA." Bernard Coard used that to close down the Torchlight newspaper. So when Morris came, and I go to him and say, Morris, look, the only newspaper in this country, look, we close it down. And it frightened the GNP elements who always support us against Gary. It frightened them. And Morris said, KB, if I was there, I would have done different. But the party take that decision, we have to go along with it. We all collective responsibility. He didn't agree, but as he went out, the party took that position, but he go along with it.
So he agreed with the party position.
But he had to support
although
it.
he might have done different.
Yes, he agreed with it.
He was a good student of the party.
Who's that?
Bishop.
Yes, because I remembered, because many people of the opinion that Bishop was forced to do certain things. He go along with it. Collective responsibility. Most of the things he go along with it. He was not an angel. Because he had look at the portfolio he had. Prime Minister, political leader. You understand? Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Minister of National Security. You understand? He had the Cubans support him, the militia support him. Not one day he tell Bernard Coard, we going the wrong way. He was part and parcel of this whole thing. You see now, after 50 years of independence, we want to portray him as a hero and, wipe out all the negative on Morris Bishop. And as you said, our Prime Minister said we want to invoke him.
Yeah.
As if he was some kind of angel who came from the heaven, spotless, sinless. You understand? On all the crime committed by Bernard Coard. Man, it can't, will never happen. When the dark records of our history is written, it will undoubtedly tax the power of belief. You will say, no, this thing don't happen. I remember when the revolution started locking up Kenny Lal Singh, Dr. Rupert Japal, and so on. Fayo Nayak went to him and said, Morris, this thing you're doing will have serious political repercussion. You cannot jail Dr. Japal and Kenny Lal Singh and them and give the impression they pick up gun to overthrow the revolution. People wouldn't believe that. Under pressure, he released Dr. Japal. But he continued to hold on to Kenny Lal Singh. So Fayo Nayak went back and said, look, Morris, you can't do that. Morris turned to him and said, look, Kenny Lal Fayo, if you continue to come here and make unreasonable demand, I will be unable to stop the security post from detaining you. Fayo Nayak pee pans in front of Morris, pee down the place, You understand?
And Fayo was a big
financer of them. What I'm saying, this so-called autocratic leader deliberately cultivate that fear to power in the party, where people will be afraid to tell them the truth. And that is my problem in this organization. In Gary, when Gary feel higher in secret police was the right thing to do, anybody could have gone and tell Gary to do that? No. Mongrels gang might beat you. You could have gone and tell Morris, don't jail 3,000 political detainees, don't put 150 rastas in a cattle pen in Whoville.
We have a caller, we have an individual on WhatsApp.
Go ahead.
And he said, yes, it's true what KB is saying. But what was the role of Vince Noel in the party?
Well, Vincent was involved in trade union. He was a trade union leader. He was close to Morris Bishop. But he hadn't much influence in the party. He hadn't much influence.
It was just more a mouthpiece,
mouthpiece, and Coard had seen him as a kind of lazy individual with woman. He could see him as a womanizer who don't really bring much, support to the party or do any serious political work.
A windbag.
One
of the accusations that was made against Bishop, that is what we're hearing, that he was a petty bourgeois. He was a womanizer. Was it a fair description?
But all the leaders,
Bernard Coard wasn't hot.
But woman don't want Bonard Coard, but the point is that Bonard Coard not an attractive man for woman to like him.
But we have had some.
Woman like Gary.
They like Gary.
Woman like Bishop.
Like
Woman like Kit Mitchell.
Yeah.
What you could do about that?
But Mr. Blaze wasn't a womanizer.
No.
Tillman is a one woman.
No, Tillman and them.
Deacon don't look as much as a womanizer.
No. The three most controversial leaders are
Polarizing
Gary, Bishop,
And
and
Kit-
Kit Mitchell. Woman like them.
Woman like that.
But you can't know nothing about that.
Yeah,
We are
it's
men, you know.
natural. I think Tom Adams in them. Well, a lot of the Caribbean leaders would have fallen in that category. They say Bonham was a womanizer when he used to beat. They say
That's
Tom
a
Adams-
strange
He
one.
didn't so beat you, so persuade him in a friendly way.
Yeah.
Okay.
They say Bonham used to beat. They say Bonham was Eric Williams' sister, you know.
Uh-huh.
And he gave her some lash. So she called her Eric Williams. So Eric Williams got have a submit in Guyana. And when he walk on the plane, his sister walk on the plane too, and she wait Bonham.
This is one thing I don't point finger at leaders. Look at that man like Uncle Gary. Nice, attractive
Yeah.
man. Woman
Dance.
must like him.
And he like to dance.
But exactly,
Yeah,
you can
Uncle Gary.
nice black man like
Yeah.
Uncle Gary.
And he spoke so well.
Exactly.
That was like a
look
magnet.
at Morris Bishop. Look at Kid
Yeah,
Mitchell.
Bishop was
Woman go like that.
really
What you would do
loved
about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's I think sometimes you find even individuals very sociable, very popular,
Yeah.
and they had a lot of women, and that helped the popularity. So it's a natural thing.
The natural thing.
And then you have some that
I don't
women
follow
don't
them.
like so much. Women don't like that. And some perhaps don't show if they want woman or if they want man.
You don't know.
But Pierre, as you see that, a lot, there's a school of thought. A lot of politicians believe you should have a lot of women to give you clothing.
Well, even P.J. Patterson
Yeah.
in Jamaica, he was accused of being a chichi boy.
Yeah, a lot of
then
men sing on him.
after that, he used to come with 2 women on his arm, you know.
Yeah.
PJ.
Them fellas then give PJ so much of fire in song up there. At that time they say all of a sudden PJ just get hot.
He get hot, yeah.
Yeah, what?
Siaga. Siaga accused him of being a chichi boy.
I was doing an article and I studied the success of Uncle Gary. And as a young man growing up, and I hear Uncle Gary fought against the British, squander mania, and he survived. He survived what? The Committee at 22? That was a hard one for
Yeah,
him.
November, Committee at 22.
That was a hard one for
Yeah,
him. And
trade
he survived.
union, church,
You know,
everybody.
and after he able to survive, he called on the New Jewel movement. He said, "No, look, you all instigate strike, break up this country. Come and sit with me,
Come and sit with me.
and let's fix it
Yeah.
for the Grenadian people." They never did.
They didn't accept
They
it.
didn't accept it.
He called them to
He
sit
called them and
together.
said, "Look, man, the taxi driver out of work, the business community, tourist industry get break up. Come and sit with me. Let's fix it. Show that you have love for the Grenadian people." And we never went.
They never accepted.
They never accepted.
And that was one of the weakness.
Yeah.
That is one of the weakness of opposition. When the leaders call you and say, "Let's speak," go and talk them out to death, but go and have a discussion.
I think they will get more respect.
Because the objective is the country.
It's a country.
We might differ in ideology,
Yeah.
strategy, culture, but the objective is the country.
Yeah.
And that's why Gary was able to take Wellington Friday.
Yeah. And I think, because of Gary's success, I think he start feeling invincible.
Well, nothing is wrong with that.
And I think because Morris Bishop's success, he feels invincible.
Well,
I think it's because Kit Mitchell's success, he feels invincible.
But again, KB, success will always bring in a level of arrogance.
Yeah.
Yes.
Could you tell Brian Lara how to bat? When you remember when Vivian Richards put out Gabriel out of the field?
Yes.
Say, go back.
Yeah.
When he reach outside, he's saying back and he call him Logie.
It's a period thing.
And Logie take a catch.
Yes. Yes.
D.K. Duncan in Jamaica, when Manly started to get quieter, slow, and not as vibrant on Marxist-Leninism, the party started to gravitate towards D.K. Duncan.
Yeah.
You know, DK Duncan take Manly wife. Yes,
That-
and when Manly told her not to go in the house where you're going, he knew DK was with her. You know. Manly tell her not to go.
That-
She offered to divorce Manly. Manly tell her no, you don't want divorce.
But that was she from the ghetto, eh?
Yeah,
Bright,
because
nice woman.
Yeah, they
Beautiful
wanted
woman.
Marxist-Leninism, socialism. When things was going down the hill, they believe we should embrace total Marxist-Leninism.
You know, interesting, Mr. Pierre. You know, I never hear Maurice Bishop and them say the Our Father. Why?
No, Bishop never used to pray, and that's one.
They
of the,
never say the Our Father massacre.
Never?
No, you in
Yeah.
in meeting,
don't pray,
we
you don't
never
pray.
pray. In
So
story class, we never pray.
no.
So there is some truth to it. Like somebody said to me, like the only time Maurice ever mentioned God was when he died.
Yeah, he say, "Oh God, they turned the gun
He
against
turned the
people."
guns against the people.
Only that time he remember God.
Well,
But
he-
before,
Yeah,
God
you
like
see,
this.
because if you follow Marxist-Leninism, they would tell you that religion is the opium of the people.
I remember that time I was talking to Bernard Coard when they were in prison and when they sentenced them to hang, and they give up all hopes. And when they came and said, Bernard Coard, look, they commute your sentence to life in prison. Bernard Coard say, KB, he had God. All the time, he never prayed. But when I give up all hopes that they're going to hang them because they was trying the gallows.
Yeah.
You know, my partner Ralph in Moya, when they
Raja.
when they try the try the gallows and they go down bragadang. Ralph will say, "Are you here? That is for us, you know. Are you here? That is for us." And them will shake in their pants, and Ralph would prepare. to
Raja
go out.
rejoice.
Yeah, rejoice because he feel now it's time to
Because
die.
the Raja was one that begged to be hanged.
Yeah, he want to hang. He feel he
want to die.
He feel he committed crime. He should
Yeah.
die. You understand? And he say, "All you hear, that is for us." And they
The
shake.
blood run
And
cold.
when they come and they say, "Look, Bernard, look, you will no
It was
more
Joan
hanging."
Postle.
Yeah, Joan that push it. You will
With
no
Bradford.
more hang. Bernard could say, "KB, yeah, God."
Yeah. You see,
He
one of-
acknowledged him.
Yeah, God. Yeah, yeah, God.
and our people must not close their eyes. That is why I believe we have to look at the historicity of history.
Yeah.
We mustn't close our eyes, because if you have a ideology that it doesn't support God or religion, then compassion, empathy,
Yes, man. Feel.
this thing goes.
Ah, yes.
And that was one of the biggest challenge of the revolution.
Yeah.
So, but the present administration, what attributes to the lack of compassion?
Well, they're trying. I think this present group of people probably is the worst concussion of a group. They don't have a clear ideology. It's a concussion they're trying to make and formulate. So they're pretending them is socialists. They don't like Cuba. They don't like Haitian. They pretending is a concussion, and it's a very dangerous concussion, because if they're successful, they would abandon God. You see, they take up. You see, they attack on the church already when they're claiming that the church have its place and the state have its place. You know,
They go hand in hand.
it work hand in hand,
Hand in hand.
particularly in the context of Grenada.
Yeah.
And we no longer, we have had our experience and realize this is not about ideology.
No.
Even China, you want a cat that holding a rat, not a white cat or a black cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chester Humphrey, Project Grenada.
Yes.
So we have a history,
Yeah.
and men learn from the history.
Yes.
You know, no perfection. We're working on it.
Yeah.
So this group is a concussion, and they could turn the hand of the clock back.
You know what
Yeah.
I would like to say, Mr. P, after 50 years of independence, that you have a responsible opposition and you have a government that will show respect for the opposition and respect those who did not vote for them and treat those who did not vote for them as equal as those who vote for them. Then we could celebrate independence and say, look, yes, we're able to tolerate one another and respect one another as Grenadian. But once in you talking of independence, you want to love celebrate independence, but you want to marginalize those who win green jobs.
We have a call on the line. Let's take this call. You're phone. We respond.
Hello.
You getting the call?
Hello. Good morning. Hello.
So that, in years to come, people can go back and read the books and reflect. You have such a wealth of knowledge, really. I always admire you when you're on a program. Thanks for sharing with Grenada.
Okay.
And for the world.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, caller. And we could take this one time, and perhaps you gentlemen, either one could react to the both same thing. You say, we push them, Brenda Baptiste, we push them to get to the top, but not how to healthily navigate there. So the ego take over, often to their detriment. Did we push them to get to the top, or did they help us to push them to get to the top? Both you men could comment on this.
We push them to the top. They also push us to get to the top. I think she's right. We push them to the top, but the ego is just...
Yeah, ego becomes a factor.
Ego become a factor. She's right. The ego become a factor.
Baptiste believe Uncle Tilly was the exception, but his timing was off. Is it timing alone, or was he the exception, KB? The new kid on the block in terms of 50 years celebration, Master Call?
Right, to talk about Uncle Tilly something else here. But he was different to them. He did not develop that unlimited capacity for power, and I don't think he get drunk with delusion or invincibility. You could attribute that to Geary, you could attribute it to Maurice Bishop, you could even attribute it to Kit Mitchell. You understand? But Uncle Tilly was just a simple person.
Simple guy.
Simple person.
Who always believe in black and white.
Yeah, he's a simple person. He was kind of naive, and it's a whole day to talk about Uncle Tilly. But he was a man of moral standing.
But he's a gentleman. Once he's convinced about something, it's very difficult to take him out of it.
Yes.
Because KB was
fixed position.
Because KB was giving me the scenario, Mr. Pierre, when things started to happen with Peter David and Nazim Bok and all the thing. KB say he personally went and speak to him, I just didn't listen, KB.
Yeah, what happened before the things start unraveling, I went to him. I said, Tilo, this internal feud between Peter David and Nazim Bok, you should stay out of that. You as a leader must stay above the fray, and let both of them complain to you. I say, if you take side, Uncle Tilly, it will be the worst blunder of your political career. And he said, KB, I would not take side. But how we end up on Nazim's Bok side, Papa God alone that know. And after the thing break up, he come to me. He come pull up in my yard. I say, I don't want to hear nothing. Come to my yard, Uncle Tilly. Because you don't listen. I say, look, don't take side. You as the leader, let both sides complain to you. Stay above the fray. You cannot take side. If you take side, it will be the worst blunder of your political career. And he took side. And after he come and say he make mistake.
Ralph Gonzal, I think it was in 2008 when NDC won election, they brought Ralph Gonzal, whether it's a trade union or who. Ralph Gonzal came to Grenada. And Ralph Gonzal was talking about the power that democracy gives the leader in a situation. And obviously, it's a lot of power.
A lot of power.
And Ralph Gonzalez spoke about it. But Grenada has been described as the island of conflict. All political leaders need to have some power.
Yes.
How you react to that, particularly in the context of Eric Gary and Kit Mitchell?
Well, both of them. My point is that you could consider them as autocratic leader, But they should still allow a little bit of democracy in their party. Yes, you could be tough. You could be strong. You understand? But these two leaders, both Uncle Gary and Kit Mitchell, they deliberately cultivate praisers and flatterers around them. Praisers and flatterers are only deceivers. You need people to be blunt and frank and tell you as it is. But it seems as though these two leaders, which I like, both Dr. Mitchell and Uncle Gary, I feel that void of that deficit of truth, deficit of truth, they doesn't like it at all. It seems as though they love flatterers and they love praisers, and you will go and say, look, Doc, I disagree with you. Uncle Gary, I disagree with you. They will just marginalize you and ostracize you. And that is their blunder. That is their fault. And the reason why, here's something, you can't blame them too. Eh? How could you blame Dr. Mitchell to believe he alone have the answer? Look at his track record. 15 3 times.
Impeccable is a good word.
Yeah.
15 3 times.
Unprecedented.
Unprecedented. Look, man. He survived.
And this is the two most inclusive leaders in Grenada.
Look at Kit Mitchell.
Eric Gary and Kit Mitchell.
He survived a vicious drug attack on his character.
Yeah.
He survived the bandaranti. He survived stabbing Blaze in the back. He survived the briefcase. He survived bringing stone in the country. He survived.
Briefcase.
He survived the A-team. He survived the briefcase. You understand? Kit Mitchell must feel invincible. The only thing, the mistake he make, he forgot he is human being capable of making mistake. But he and Gary, they will feel invincible.
And these are the two. When Gary take Wellington Friday, that was a shocker. You know?
Yeah.
Wellington Friday practically turned MacDonald College into a militant school.
Yeah.
Where police had to go in the school for Gabe to go to school, you know. Because the Lydia Simon, one and Simon that lead the group that backs up Gabe. and yet, Gary welcomed Wellington Friday in the party.
You understand politics?
When the people bawl and say, don't take him, he said the prodigal son has come.
Come home. Because you understand politics.
And at that time,
Inclusiveness.
Wellington Friday was speaking about university without walls.
Yeah.
And Gary said, no, put Wellington Friday in education.
Yes.
The only other inclusive leader in Grenada that passed is Kit Mitchell.
Kit Mitchell. I agree with you.
Kit Mitchell doesn't want to stop. I'm certain if Michael Baptiste in tongue, Kit Mitchell and him will talk and laugh and such.
See what happened? Dr. Mitchell is such a true politician. Once you become a liability, he push you aside. Once he figure you as an asset, he don't care.
But there is good politics in
he don't
politics.
care. And that's
there's no permanent enemy.
You're a businessman, you know. If you have somebody in the shop and you know people would not come in the shop because that individual there, you will get rid of that person.
I might open my next shop and send them away.
You won't keep
if
them in the
he's a
shop.
very good person.
Yeah, if the person become a liability, you don't keep, and that is him.
But George Brizan said Grenada is the island of conflict.
Yeah.
George Brizan couldn't survive in politics. Mr. Brafitt, they tried to tie politics on him. They only, you remember, get me to the church on time?
Yes.
You know that? I don't know if them Caricunians know. They claim, why this story get me to the church on time serve as a magnet to make Mr. Brafitt make up his mind, you know. Somebody call us and tell us if you know about it. Get me to the church on time.
Who says so?
So Grenada politics had a lot of...
Yeah, it's a lot of, you know...
And Nazimbo couldn't
humor.
survive this.
No.
He wasn't prepared, he wasn't capable, he wasn't able. He was just a square peg in a round hole.
Yeah, he said to me, I went to him one day and I said, Nazim, I said, Nazim, why you keeping so quiet? You is deputy political leader. You're not saying anything. And Nazim say, you're not prepared to say anything. This is Tillman Thomas time. I say, even if you see your friend going down in a precipice, you wouldn't say anything? Nazim say, no. not my time. It's still Mantama's time.
I see that our sister Brenda says that all leaders need an independent think tank than to help keep them in check.
Yes, of
I agree
course.
with that.
I agree with that, 100%.
I believe sometimes what happened to our independent think tank, they do independent. Remember when this sister...
The independent think tank do independent?
They're not independent. I don't know why I lost her name. She was once a potential leader of the NDC. She was Minister of Education. She says she had to leave politics because stress you go dead.
I know.
Why is she name again? Oh my.
Peters and
Not Ann Peters. Ann Peters make one amount of noise about health. When she go to NDC to compete with health, they move her from health.
Miss Bonadine?
Bonadine. Franca Bonadine was in a civic group pretending to be neutral. And immediately NDC wins, she have posts. So while we have independent thinkers, you cannot openly flaunt a political party conveniently.
No.
So whether the party win election or not, you continue with your own level of independence.
Because after July 8, 2008, on July 8, 2009, she was a civil society. July 9, she's a NDC.
Yeah. Mr. P, this independent thing, that get us in trouble with the revolution. I remember one day in Simon, we had our own kind of class and organization, And I said to Maurice Bishop and Coard there, the most powerful organ of the party are the political bureau. But who will, since that we have opposition, who will question the bureau in case the bureau
goes wrong?
What? Bishop turn on me, Coard turn on me, and say, you all Tivoli fellas are very mischievous. It's the second time that is being brought up here. Look, your brother Buck, Kenneth Budlal, is the first one who asked that question. How could you ask that question? Who will question the bureau? And we was taking, advising them. If all the decision was taken by the police bureau, let's suppose they make wrong decision, who will question them? Which body? Because you don't have no political party to, you understand, to oppose, to ask question. And they take, offense.
Also, in the same breath, even for conversation, we say we believe we should have this independent think tank, which I believe is something that making sense.
Mm-hmm.
But it comes back down again to the ego of the people, who they make certain decisions and the think tank would say that the decisions was wrong. Now, when you reach a certain part, as we speak about this invincibility, it is very difficult to take counsel,
Fair enough, but
it's very difficult to take counsel.
In a democracy, you have institutions like the trade union. You have institutions like the bar association. You have institutions like the civic group. You have institutions as the church.
I agree with you.
And if you have a free press,
yes, I agree with you.
That is balance.
That is
because no matter how a politician feel invincible,
yes,
he don't want this unpopularity
and this organization.
And this organization will
come out on it.
But Mr. Pierre, two things. Everybody like to talk about the truth, but that is only when you don't involve them. Speak the truth. But when it comes for you to speak the truth, you have a problem.
I agree.
Now, we use the word democracy, and a lot of time we use it loosely, because people like controlled democracy. They say they like democracy, but anytime democracy is at work, all right, case in point, you have a thing, and as KB said, they say, who go speak if you do something wrong, who will steady you, and right away they see you as opposing the agenda,
But Maurice Bishop was not a democracy.
No. Not democracy. In regular democracy, even now, as we say, we operating under democracy.
That is where
Anytime you speak against or you try to
Criticize.
to criticize, they see you as
Or do-
opposing and not being objective.
but that is where
a lot of times objectivity is something they don't like. Anytime you're objective, they see you as being opposing
Well, that
or
is
don't
what
like.
That's what Mr. Pierre is saying. The civil organization, the trade union, the bar association, or even say
the church
and so on.
on some issues.
You see, they should be formed on some issues.
No,
Because
you can't do that. You know?
see, I am with them because the point is that they are the one who's supposed to
We have a caller on the line. Let's take this caller.
Hello?
Yes, caller.
Yeah, KB, one question. Is it true on the morning of the revolution? I know you were there, but the question is, Maurice Bishop panicked on the morning and Coard is one that actually led the revolution?
I don't think so, because I don't think Bishop was going to panic, because some of the detailed planning, Bishop was present. So he was aware of everything. And you should know Bishop is different to Bernard Coard. Bishop is not a fighter, you know. He's not that kind of militant person. Coard is more a tough person, and let's say Coard is more fearless, you know, than Maurice. So Maurice may panic a little bit, but not that much, because he was part and parcel of the making of the revolution, the planning of the revolution. Yeah, okay. All right. Answer your question.
Yeah.
I want. Yeah. What I want to say is that I agree with you. I want to agree with you. That's take up the
Caller there?
yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I want to agree with you. This organization should be able to protect the leaders against themselves. You understand? Because they could easily self-destruct, especially when there is tremendous success
Story.
behind them. When they saw, just look at Dr. Mitchell. Educator, a successful educator. A businessman, a successful businessman. A sportsman, a successful sportsman. Politician, obviously he go feel invincible. But someone ought to protect him against himself. You understand? Because he will feel he have the answer to all the questions. He have the panacea to all the disease. You understand? Same thing with Uncle Gary. You need those organizations to protect these people against themselves. Because Maurice Bishop feel invincible. He feel he could jail 3,013 political detainees and get away with it. He could put 150 rastas in a cattle pen and get away with it. He could close down every newspaper and get away with it. He could close down every political party and get away with it. Had you had this organization, as you say, the church, the trade union, the bar association, another civil organization, you know, coming out and say, hey, Maurice, you can't do that. They would have protect Bishop against himself.
Mr. Blaze. No, people speak on Mr. Blaze. All he did was to go in Carrico and rock on his rocking chair.
You see?
And pray for the Americans to come.
What a pity you have people like Uncle Gary self-destruct. What a pity you have good leaders, leader like Maurice Bishop self-destruct. Why we should allow somebody like Keith Mitchell to self-destruct? These people make tremendous sacrifice and contribution to this country. We should never allow them to destroy themselves. You can't, why we allow Uncle Gary to destroy himself?
Well, Uncle Gary, remember the only two, again we have two, the only two political leaders that call election only in Grenada is Gary and Kitchen. When Nadia Benjamin and Whipple, Ned and them started flexing their muscle, that the opposition says so much thing about women.
Yeah.
That Nadia and Whipple felt they had to prove to this country they could handle Gary. Nadia was supposed to go to, I think it's Mauritius or somewhere, on a woman conference. And on the last minute, Gary said you didn't inform the cabinet. Well, she didn't tell him. And he decided she cannot go. So she told the people in the conference she can't come, the prime minister. They get on to Gary. Gary went to and tell her go. She said she's not going. So Gary immediately reshuffled cabinet.
He's right.
And he leave she and Whipple out.
He's right. He was right.
And then he call election.
He was right.
When Dr. Kit Mitchell had issue with Fletcher and the others, he called election.
Yeah.
So while we chastising these individuals are politically savvy and they prepare to take risk. So this is the only two leaders. When Mr. Blaze had problem, he prorogued Parliament. When Tillman had problem, he prorogued Parliament.
Yes.
So while we're chastising these individuals, and yes, but we must remember, if we have to, when our history is written, anybody who wants to go politics in Grenada, you must study Gary and Key.
Yes, you must study them.
That is the two done. The two masters.
They're so controversial.
They polarize in figures.
That's elite must test.
And
Yes.
sometimes they anticipate your move. Again, risk-taking is an important factor.
Yeah.
You are
Calculating
but you're
the
a
risk.
businessman, you would
Even Dwight Venner.
Yeah.
At one time, I love him, but one time I felt he must go.
Yeah.
And Antoine must prepare to take risk.
Yeah.
Now, the only two leaders in Grenada that took risk, is Gary and Kit Mitchell again.
I'll give
Where business is concerned.
I'll give a story. One day I was home, and Dr. Mitchell drove up, and he said, KB, I have a problem in my party. I said, Dr. Mitchell, what problem you could have? We just get rid of Uncle Gary. Blaze. He said, KB, Swaggart give in trouble. Archibald get in trouble. Renel Benjamin get in trouble. Debug get in trouble. Winston White give in trouble. Prescott Swan get in me trouble. And and Dennis. I said, no, Dr. Mitchell. We can't make all these people go one time. He said, what? When I win for them to give me trouble, you go and get cap ahead of them and mobilize St. Andrews. Let's go in the convention and get them out because I wasn't able to govern peacefully. But that time I was a kind of slave to Kit Mitchell. As he said, jump. So we go and mobilize everybody, we go in the convention, and we deal with them. You understand? But you see, I think these will help make these people feel invincible.
But maybe if you do that, they captured him.
Perhaps.
Brizan say island of conflict.
Perhaps.
Only two leaders in Grenada that was able to win election on more than one occasion. Look at Alexis and Brizan and Braffit.
Once.
All of them bright.
Yeah. They don't understand it.
Braffit never wanted to. I don't know if when you stay as a public officer all your life, you just get afraid because you understand. But Braffit never wanted this power.
I'm really tired.
Yeah, the interim begged Braffit to stay. Braffit agreed only if Alistair McIntyre coming. He promised only how he'll be on the committee as the deputy if Alistair McIntyre coming. And that time, Grenadian waiting for Alistair McIntyre. But Alistair McIntyre had some issues with the American with some project in Australia. So men who was on to this in one and how Alistair McIntyre will come in Grenada. And then Braffit was practically forced to lead.
He was forced.
And when they begging Braffit to lead NDC, was only to the letter that was put out, get me to the church on time. That caused him to race to lead. Can we come to the end of the program? Final
so
words from you.
fast. We so fast.
I wonder if,
I just want to
let me read two things they say. And Brenda has been very active. Much thanks to all the indeed, KB, all we remember is how it ended. And Mr. Francis Alexis, one of the best, never be prime minister. That is coming from Brenda. So The think tank provides mentorship and guidance to our leaders. So the think tanks are very good, but we have to constantly encourage these people who say they're independent, pretend to be independent and shut your mouth. I think that is the best way we could tell it.
Yeah, I just want to end up as the,
Yeah.
Shut up.
Put
yeah,
it here.
the three controversial heroes. You cannot leave them out. Eric Matthew Geary, Maurice Bishop, and Dr. Kit Mitchell. These are the three controversial heroes. They all developed unlimited capacity for power and get drunk with delusion and invincibility. One thing, someone asked me about my book. I did about 25 chapters. There is one chapter I really don't complete. It's because I want to interact with my good friend Ayman Abdullah first. You know, I had that last chapter. What was it like on death row? I did half of it. And I feel I would not complete the book unless I have that personal, interaction with my good friend Abdullah. Then I'll complete it. But I have some real good, exciting chapters.
Well, I look forward to that moss read from KB.
Yes.
What would I say? I've learned a lot from this conversation today.
But we will have to continue on the galaxy equalizers.
And it seems like the program building, so
Yeah.
what would advise person to share it, like it, so when we come back next time, all who listen today, or next Saturday, God's will, cause somebody else to listen. Share it with at least one person.
Okay, thank you.
And we tend to have 2 sessions on Saturday, one perhaps on agriculture, economics, business, and one on street hard politics.
Because again, some good reviews by
Yes, so
messages.
this is the equalizers, and we operating from Studio Galaxy 473 from Confaro, Paraclete. And we encourage you to subscribe, share, like, tell your friend. Thank you very much. And we must thank our 2 technical people, Devante, and we have a little sister with us, and she's a trainee to operate this in the absence of Devante, and that is Nea.
That's good.
Thank you very much.
All right, take care. All the best.
Them try to kill we and break way. Them not realize it's the same fight that build waves. I don't need friends, though I'll be lonely. And all I need